But anyways, the first big trailer that I wanted to talk about was obviously Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, the second and I'm presuming final big trailer before the movie comes out in just over a month. Uh, let's not bury the lead. Let's talk about Patrick Stewart. Let's talk about the Illuminati. Not that Illuminati, the Marvel Illuminati, which I have to imagine they're going to rebrand it somehow. Because just calling it the Illuminati obviously has other associations at this point, so I'm not entirely sure what they're gonna do with that. That'll be up to Marvel. They'll figure it out. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But yeah. So when I was watching that trailer on Super Bowl Sunday, I was like, this is a fantastic trailer. We'll kind of go through a couple of the major beats later on, and then I see him going through what looks to me like a TVA-esque sort of building or room. And I know that, it's not exactly the TVA. I know the TVA was a sham by Kang the Conqueror and he who must not be named. No, that's a different franchise. He Who Remains. But I just couldn't help but get, little TVA vibes, and that was cool. And I was like, okay, he's being captured. That's pretty interesting. Where's he going? And he gets put in front of this council, and I'm like, okay. And then I hear the voice, and just like every single trailer reaction, my jaw just dropped, and I said, what? I literally audibly just sat there, and for the rest of the trailer, I was trying to process what was going on, but the implications, right? Patrick Stewart is back as Charles Xavier. Now, if you know me, you would know that, to be quite honest with you, I get the argument that, oh, well, if they put this in the trailer, then how much more are they going to have in the movie? Fine. Great, fine. But I would have preferred not to have this in the trailer at all. Just straight up. I think that I don't know. Even though we all sort of knew, I would have just preferred to have not had this in the trailer. And I know we heard one line, and I know we saw a silhouette of the back of his head, but I don't know. I wish that movies kind of kept all of their secrets for the movie itself. I think Avengers Endgame is just such a good example of how to do a marketing campaign, because I mean, yes, you need those, Avengers Endgame had its own hype going forward, and I respect that. And so it didn't really need to show anything, but it didn't show anything. And I think people would have been just as excited for the cool visuals of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness without the Professor X reveal. I see how they probably grabbed a few extra, demographics of people who were kind of on the fence, and they were like, demographics meaning, like viewers, like fringe viewers, like people who aren't as interested in the MCU, people who just don't care about the MCU, but who like the X-Men, those kinds of demographics. And they were like, oh, wait, it's X-Men. But look, at the end of the day, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just salty, but I would have preferred not to see that in the trailer, but it's in the trailer, and obviously what that means is, yes, that argument holds true. If they put Professor X in the trailer, and Kevin Feige doesn't just do that kind of thing, because I know that trailers are made by other trailer companies, but I'm sure that Kevin Feige has some sort of final say on what goes in the trailer. It would be absolutely crazy if he didn't. And I'm sure he was like, well, this might get people excited because we have a lot more coming, and there were hints of sort of a superior Iron Man or Reed Richards, or you could see a Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel. This movie is going to be insane. And I, for what it's worth, I recently just rewatched Spider-Man No Way Home as it came out on video and digital and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, what I had always said before Spider-Man No Way Home is, with all of the hype of the multiverse and all of the hype of the Tobey and Andrew appearances and the villains, Doc Ock and Green Goblin, people seem to kind of forget that it's still a movie, and it needs to be a good movie. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker wasn't a better movie just because Lando Calrissian was in it for about 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And thankfully, as I was rewatching the movie, I just reaffirmed to me that yes, cameos and multiverse villains and stuff, but it was a great movie. It's just a great movie in my eyes. And that's what I need Doctor Strange 2 to be. I don't care who shows up or when. I mean, it's going to be exciting, of course. But the way that I watched Spider-Man No Way Home integrate the villains and the heroes into the story especially that moment on top of the school, on the roof of the school, where they're talking about with great power comes great responsibility. That's integral to the story. I don't want Charles Xavier just to show up and be like, "Yo, I'm here. What's up?" and then he dies again or something. It just, and then Reed Richards shows up for 5 seconds and he's like, "Oh, see you in my next movie, and Ant-Man 3 or whatever." Um I just hope that's not what happens. And luckily, on a more positive note, it looks like that's where it's going because the trailer looks insane. The trailer looks like it has all the makings of just a fantastic, wild, nightmarish, horror-esque movie. And that's something obviously the MCU hasn't explored yet. I love the last shot of this weird zombified, just ghoulish, strange. It just shows, Sam Raimi's touch with this kind of thing. It's just fantastic. So yeah, I mean, there were a bunch of other shots we can go through, like the Ultron bots. Those are really interesting. Rachel McAdams is back. Looks like she has a larger role, as she said in a recent interview. But I'm just so excited. I really don't want to speculate that much more because I just want to see it in the theater come May. So there is that.